Every game begins the same way.
All right, the O's. Welcome back to Orioles Fan Central, your exclusive channel for the hottest news from Birdland. Before we dive into the rumors that are stirring behind the scenes of our beloved team, I want to ask those of you who haven't subscribed yet, click the subscribe button now and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. I'm here to bring you insights straight from the field and the front office with the same depth and analysis you've come to expect. My friends, the season is progressing and speculation about strategic moves in the trade market is heating up. I have information circulating in the most exclusive corridors of MLB indicating an aggressive move by the Orioles in search of an elite starting pitcher. It's an open secret that despite the young and promising talent in our staff, management feels the need to add an experienced and proven piece to solidify our rotation for the postseason and for the years to come. We're talking about a pitcher who can be the ace that takes our team to the next level, especially with the rise of our offensive talents and the strengthening of our bullpen. The internal sources I talk to, those who really know what's going on behind the scenes, whisper big names. One of the targets that has been consistently linked to the Orioles is Dylan Cease of the Chicago White Sox. It's no secret to anyone that Cease is a potent arm with a devastating slider and a fastball that reaches triple digits. In 2024, before the injury that sidelined him for a while, Cease recorded an ERA of 2.90 with 130 strikeouts in 100 innings, numbers that, if maintained, would be a monumental addition to our rotation. The question here is the price. The White Sox are in rebuilding mode and won't make things easy. They are looking for high-level prospects, and our farm system, as everyone knows, is one of the richest in the league. We will have to decide if it's worth giving up one of our young talents to bring in a pitcher of Cease's caliber. The front office is carefully evaluating this trade, weighing the immediate impact versus long-term development. Another name that has come up in conversations is Shane Bieber of the Cleveland Guardians. Although Bieber didn't have the same brilliance in 2024 that led him to a Cy Young in 2020, he is a natural competitor, and his experience in big games would be invaluable. In his recent outings, he has shown flashes of his old self, with good control and a mix of pitches that can confuse hitters. However, his recent health and a drop in his fastball velocity are concerns. My information suggests that the Orioles are closely monitoring his physical situation and his performance in the coming weeks. If he shows consistency and durability, Bieber could be a more affordable option than Cease, but still a significant reinforcement. The Guardians are also in a rebuilding phase, which could facilitate negotiations. These rumors are not just smoke, there's fire behind them. The Orioles' strategy, as I've been telling you, is clear. Build a team that can compete for titles for many years. For that, we need a balance between the young talent we are developing at home and the experience of veterans who have already proven their worth in the league. The acquisition of an elite pitcher fits perfectly into this philosophy. It's a decision that will directly impact our chances of going deep into the postseason. The possible arrival of a high-level veteran pitcher would not only reinforce our rotation, but also bring a much-needed leadership presence to the clubhouse. Think about the impact a pitcher with the experience of Cease or Bieber could have on our young talents like Grayson Rodriguez and Kyle Bradish. The exchange of knowledge, the way they prepare for games, their mentality in high-pressure situations, all of this is invaluable. This is something John Heyman always emphasizes in his analyses, and I fully agree. It's not just about the numbers on the field, but about the influence on the team environment. In addition to pitchers, internal discussions in Birdland also indicate that management is evaluating the need for an infield reinforcement, more specifically, a player who can play first base. Despite Ryan Mountcastle's good offensive production, the front office is looking for an option that brings more defensive consistency or an alternative for when Mountcastle isn't performing at his peak. Discreet rumors suggest that names like Pete Alonso of the New York Mets were briefly discussed, although the chances of such a trade are minimal due to the high cost and the Mets' reluctance to release their star hitter. However, this shows the front office's ambition to explore all options to strengthen the lineup. A more likely scenario, and one that has been discussed more seriously behind the scenes, is the search for a first baseman with a more defensive profile or a left-handed hitter who can fit into a platoon. The intention is to have options that complement what we already have, and make our lineup even more unpredictable for opponents. The goal is to optimize each position to maximize our chances of winning. Orioles scouts are working tirelessly, observing players on teams that are likely to be sellers in the trade market. The current trend in baseball, and the Orioles are following this line, is to have roster flexibility. Having players who can play multiple positions or who can be used in specific situations, like a left-handed hitter against right-handed pitchers, is a huge advantage. That's why the search for an infielder isn't just about filling a gap, but about adding depth and versatility to the roster. The 2024 season showed us the importance of having a deep roster, capable of absorbing injuries and periods of low production. The front office is being very careful. It's not a matter of making a trade just for the sake of making one, but rather of making the right trade at the right time. Every move is calculated to maximize the chances of success in the short and long term. This is what sets the Orioles apart today, a methodical and an analytical approach to roster construction based on data and close observation of the market. Dear Birds, the Orioles' philosophy for this trade window is clear. Improve the team now without compromising the bright future we have ahead. We are not going to mortgage our farm system, which is the envy of the entire league, for a short-term foundation. The idea is to add pieces that make us serious contenders for the title in 2025 and 2026, but that also fit into our long-term competitive window. It's a delicate balance. Our management, led by Mike Elias, has proven to be a master of this art. Discussions about who we might give up in a trade for an elite pitcher are intense. The names of some of our most promising prospects come up in conversations, but the front office is very reluctant to give up talents like Jackson Holliday or Samuel Basallo. It's more likely that prospects of a slightly lower level, but still with great development potential, or players who are already on the main roster but have become somewhat redundant due to the rise of other athletes, will be offered. The priority is to keep our young and talented core intact. Recently, the performances of Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson have been spectacular, solidifying them as pillars of our lineup. Rutschman with his plate vision and defensive skills, and Henderson with his power and versatility are the kind of talent you don't trade. The success of these players in 2024 and the growth potential of other young players like Colton Cowser and Heston Kjerstad reinforce the idea that the team is on the right track. The strategy is to add pieces that will further elevate the level of these young players, giving them the necessary support to shine. The focus on pitchers is because, despite having promising names, the depth and experience in the rotation are still areas that can be improved. A veteran pitcher with a history of success and accustomed to playoff pressure would be a huge differentiator. Think about the psychological impact this would have on the roster and on the fans. It would be a clear sign that the Orioles are all in to fight for the ring. Furthermore, the front office is also attentive to bargain opportunities in the market. Not every acquisition needs to be a blockbuster trade involving our best prospects. Sometimes, a smaller but astute move can bring a great return. This includes monitoring players who may be waived or who have expiring contracts that their teams have no intention of renewing. The agility in identifying these opportunities is crucial, and the Orioles have a recent history of success in this type of movement. So, my dear the O's and Birdland, the main news today is the Orioles' relentless pursuit of an elite starting pitcher with Dylan Cease and Shane Bieber at the top of the target list, and the evaluation of an infield reinforcement, possibly at first base. The front office is committed to strengthening the team for the final stretch of the season and for the playoffs, without compromising our promising future. Now, I want to hear your opinion. What do you think of these potential moves? Do you think it's worth giving up high-level prospects for a pitcher like Cease? Or do you prefer a safer and more experienced option like Bieber? And regarding first base, what would be the ideal player profile to complement our infield? Leave your comments below. I want to read every single one of them. Your passion and your analysis are the fuel for this channel. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the analysis, share it with other Orioles fans to spread the word, and of course, subscribe to the channel and turn on notification bell to receive all updates firsthand. We are together on this journey to see our Orioles at the top. Stay tuned to Orioles Fan Central for the fastest news and the most in-depth analyses from Birdland. See you next time.